Hello and welcome to this M1 Finance tutorial. As we can see, the portfolio name is over here named DGI-esque, which stands for Dividend Growth Investing-esque. And the purpose of this video is to go over the platform and everything in between, and we'll make future videos on precisely what's in this portfolio, what you need to know about dividends, dividend growth investing, and otherwise. And with that, check out the description below for a referral link where I'll get compensated and you too as well. Currently at the time of this recording, it's $50 per referral. This may change, but do check it out and we'll get straight into it. So this portfolio name is such, and the value of this portfolio is $7,778.36. You have a starting value of this account being at $0 on its opening at this date of August 30th, 2019, and at the time of this recording, we're in late 2021/early 2022 period. You have a net cash flow of $7,295. You have what you've gained in that instance, as well as the return percentage. Now, on M1 Finance specifically, you have a gain, so it's a combination of all market capital gains and dividends earned. So not just how much the stocks went up, but also what is that cash flow that we've seen through our dividend earning stocks. And the return, it's a money-weighted return versus a time-weighted return / otherwise. So just a quick heads up to look into what type of return it's showing, which in this case, it's always a money-weighted return, and that's just M1 Finance in general. You have market gain, you have earned dividends, and you actually press view, which will take you to a separate screen of where is that actually coming from and which type of assets are we getting that to. And you can sort it by value, for example, with the least, and flip again, you get the most. And this is the total earned dividends in this portfolio from its existence, essentially. And if we go back, coming back over here, we got a cash balance currently sitting at $4.36, and you have a choice to deposit. If you press deposit, it will say, hey, from which account? And in general, M1 Finance, in my experience, you're only able to link one bank account at any given time. So whenever I need to switch this up, I just go into the settings, switch it, and it's instant type of change approval. So you don't need to wait 2 to 3 days, etc. for ACH trial deposits and otherwise. And you have a borrow function. We'll go over that as well. I've definitely taken some money in terms of what's borrowed, and I do have some credit line available. And this is relative to your assets, and we'll get into that soon enough. So you can actually transfer it to a specific portfolio. So I do have other type of portfolios within M1 Finance over here known as dividends and individual, but if you look carefully, there's nothing in there and nothing over here. And so if we go back, you actually press right up here, you can actually choose and go between different portfolios and different types of accounts that are available as well. For example, IRAs, SEP IRAs, joint accounts, and more over here, and you can definitely check it out. So coming over here, it is the value over time of our portfolio. As we can see over here, around $200 in this late 2020 period. And then slowly and surely, we'll go into how much I've deposited week over week. And it's kind of like a step up graph. And here was more of a increased inflow of capital into this portfolio. And again, that similar step up, step up, step up. And we'll get into what those precise deposits were every 2 weeks. $200 as of this morning is what's going to go in every 2 weeks going forward. This number used to be 100 and then 150 and otherwise. If you're part of M1 Plus, down over here you have upcoming trades pending on this deposit. You have 43 buys that are slated, and what these buys are they're related to what's over here in terms of target allocation. So 1%, for example, with annually capital management, but currently what my actual percentage is 16.7% of this portfolio is actually in NLY. Morning 9:30 a.m. is exactly when stocks are bought and sold. And if you're part of M1 Plus, which is their preferred premium program, which we'll get into those details soon enough, you're going to be able to have 3 p.m. trades going in as well. Now, this is for both buy and sells, and similar to PDT, pattern day trading rule in the stock market, if you have $25,000 or less, you are not qualified to make day trades, that is 4 or more in a week or in a rolling 5-day period. So the point being that because there's less than 25K in this account, it doesn't execute both, let's say, buying at 9:30 a.m. and then rebalancing and selling at 3 p.m. And rebalancing, actually, that brings us to what's over here. With rebalance, it will rebalance your portfolio to get closer to your target allocations over here, like the 1%, the 15%, 1%, etc. But at the same time, when you rebalance, you are selling, and so there could be taxable events that you're seeing with those particular actions. So just a heads up over there. Coming to our slices, we have name, which we can filter by name, kind of up and down, ascending, descending, alphabetically or otherwise. It's named DGIS, just if you're curious, where Wind Resorts at the time of this recording does not currently pay a dividend, but it used to, and so it's in here, and in general it's being dollar cost averaged into. You have the value, which you can sort by pressing over here, as well as your gain and return. And again, that gain is that over here, money weighted return versus general just return and actual / target. So this is what you see on the portfolio screen when you enter into M1 Finance. If you press activity, you can definitely see the more granular activity of what's been going on. You know, M1 borrow bill payment, we'll get into borrow soon. You have the actual dividends coming in, and you have morning trading of what was actually bought. And if you press it, just an example, you get to see what was exactly bought and how much of each type of stock. And 2 were excluded, so if we press this over here, any estimated buys that are less than $1 minimum will be excluded from trading. So because the assumption over here is less than $1 for BKH, Black Hills Corporation, and DLR for Digital Realty Trust, this is what the case is. So we press done, go back, let's go back again, and one more time. And you got date range, you can filter by symbol, of course you can filter by activity type, you can keep it to just dividends, for example, and it does it in real time. And let's say only, so here we go, so it is the month of December. So just from the beginning of the period of December 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paychecks in less than 11 days of the month, and that's including weekends, or rather weekdays, so that's pretty cool to see, and we'll get into more of these later on in the channel. You come to holdings, you can see how many positions, 69, how much did we pay, how much is that valued at, what is our unrealized gain in general, and some other extra information which is very valuable. You have funding history, so 2019, $100, 2020, some more. And over here, you can see kind of the difference of how much I withdrew. And this is really M1 borrow, not exactly going out of the account altogether, but it's definitely owed. And deposits over here. And you can see bank connection over here, one bank at a time, and what the account value is over here. And if you're interested in another broker transferring over some of your assets, definitely you can get more information. Now, moving on to the spend. Over here, what this is saying is there's a new owner's rewards credit card by M1. You can earn up to 10% cash back, and overall, this product, you can apply for it, it's definitely available. And the point of the story here is this is just one part of M1's kind of ecosystem, similar to Apple's ecosystem, where you have multiple capability and functionality. So from a spending feature on the credit card, you also have a debit card as well. If you're a part of M1 Plus, you get some extra earning and otherwise. But here is the borrow tab. It shows that I've borrowed $2,600.27. You get a base rate of 2% on the borrowed funds, especially due to M1 Plus. If you're not M1 Plus at the time of this recording, it's around 3.5% in terms of interest rate. And you have credit available of $100. And how you create this value is it's 35% of your portfolio worth. So if you have 10K in assets, you can borrow up to $3,500, etc. So like this, there's a next bill date, how much interest has accrued, what's my projected bill. And in terms of my activity, when you go back, you can actually kind of see, hey, the M1 borrow bill payment came through, and that can take away from your credit in general, month over month. So when we come to the research tab, research is basically your news, your kind of highlights regarding the markets, what's going on. And within the research tab, you actually have, specific stocks. If you want to filter a certain way, kind of see, okay, what's the dividend yield by a certain kind of XYZ stock. So this is, $3,990 total, and definitely you can filter that down to maybe a new position trying to add or remove and kind of do some high-level analyses, etc. You have the actual funds, more your ETFs. So for example, VOO, VTI. When you go to My Pies, so we do have DGISM activity. These two, I don't really use them, but they're here. And you can create a new pie, and that'll be a future video on the channel. You have the expert pies, so you can actually just copy how other folks invest in general. And watch list, this is kind of what you're looking at, kind of want to add to your list to potentially add in the future. When you come over to transfers, M1 total, this is what's in the account due to what I owe as well, so the borrowed amount and how much I've invested. So this amount minus how much we owe is kind of what we have in total in the account. And as we can see, activity-wise, you have $200, $200, $100. This is more on the borrow side, and 150 as we alluded to in the beginning of the video. So overall, this is kind of borrow statements, how much has been going in, and etc. So coming back here and turning to the rules, you can actually create rules. And so with these rules, with M1 Plus, you can have smart transfers, as they say. So for example, when you want to transfer in other types of rules, now I don't have any rules active in this, but I am an M1 Plus member, but you can definitely set up some of these rules. And when you go to move money, for example, one-time transfer, recurring transfer, and again, that smart transfer coming to M1 Plus. Looking at this example, enroll and spend checking to unlock smart transfers. And so what this is really saying is when you enroll in a spend checking, you have that debit card functionality versus the credit/borrow feature. And so if you press learn more, you can actually see you get 1% when you spend, 1% APY when you save. Hold your cash in a spend checking and choose when and how to invest. Plus you earn more interest in 15 days than in a year at a big bank, and get 1% cash back when you use the specific debit card. You have instant transfers, faster access to cash, get faster access to your 2% borrow line of credit, and one stop for your finances, which is this M1 Finance total ecosystem/product/service in general. So coming back to the main screen over here at M1 Finance and seeing our portfolio load, as we can see, this is essentially at the highest level, a huge overview, and please drop any comments down below. Happy to address anything further. And on that note, look at the symmetry, 7777, 99 cents. With that, thank you so much.